What is the most painful thing you have endured? Got full pressure of a powder fire extinguisher in my eye, blew my cornea right off my eyeball. Managed to find help and was later told I looked like a ghost. I was rushed to the hospital and had a contact type thing put over my eyeball under my eyelids with fluid connected to it. Hurt like hell at that point and was laying like that for 2 hours before they would attempt surgery. Last thing I remember was laying in an operating room where a mask was put over my face with my dad standing above me. The moments before I fell under, I thought I was dying. Surgery went well, and no serious damage happened after the incident, luckily. A couple years later, when my cornea grew back fully and had adjusted, I needed glasses because of massive headaches. Currently looking into LASIK and similar procedures. Pancreatitis. Even doped up in the hospital, I was in agony. Kidney stones. No question. Even after having broken 3 ribs and shattering my sternum, kidney stones, hands down. A cardiac arrest due to my bowel blowing up 3 weeks prior and my fecal matter poisoning all of my organs, putting my body in full shutdown mode. A huge cyst tangled around my ovary. The pain hit within 2 minutes from 0 to "please just end me." I've never in my life screamed like that. I begged the doctors to hurry up and give me that anesthesia so they can start surgery. Waking up was the best thing. Once when I had a really bad toothache, I was eating and accidentally bit down on the tooth too hard. It sent a shockwave of pain so intense into my head that it felt like getting stabbed in the brain. It hurt so bad I collapsed on the floor. When I was around 9 to 10, I used to live back home in India and we had our farms and we had these small canals dug through farms to irrigate. One day I was walking in the canal barefooted and stepped on a broken glass bottle. I couldn't see it buried under the soil. The next thing I remember was laying on the hospital bed crying and doctors trying to numb my foot using injection, but due to bleeding it was tough, so they had to stitch it as fast as they could. Health services were kind of okay around that time. So I had like 20 stitches, my whole foot was torn from heel to toe. Couldn't walk for about 2 months. Standing up with a broken leg. You felt the broken bones pass each other's. Honestly, my gynecologist trying to get a sample of my uterine cells by poking what is essentially a very narrow straw through my cervix. Most intense sharp pain I've ever felt, and they couldn't even get it. Appendicitis is in one of the top categories for me. The pain was so severe that I was non-stop vomiting since my parents refused to take me to hospital. Having a knee replaced. You don't feel a thing while it's being done, but the recovery really hurts. When I complained to the surgeon, he said, "You've had your leg broken in 6 or 7 places. What did you expect?" Getting bone marrow extracted while awake at age 11. Fell naked into a ditch full of nettles when I was 2 or 3. Felt paralyzed with a constant hellish burn coating my entire body. Didn't leave the house for 2 days straight, was in a village, so no hospitals nearby, and had to stomach it without treatment or entertainment to distract me. I remember nothing before 4 years old, but this was so traumatic that it's ingrained as a core memory. Going through Crohn's disease pain. The stomach cramps are so intense it feels like someone is grabbing your intestines and squeezing them and turning them all around. I have prayed for death due to the cramping. And it always happens in the middle of the night, so screaming isn't really an option. Pregnancy via emergency cesarean, due to severe preeclampsia and my son developing an amniotic infection, after 19 hours of labor and 3 of them straight pushing. I know there are worse pregnancy stories, but that was the worst pain in my life during the birth process and recovery months after. I then got pregnant again 8 months after my son with my second child and had to have another cesarean. Made them take my tubes out the second time. Lumbar puncture headache. I can't stress enough the divine hell, the beautiful agony, the exquisite suffering that a lumbar puncture headache is. I couldn't eat, move, sit, read, or even inhale too sharply without white-hot pain in my head. I briefly became a Cenobite. Getting run over by a tractor. The worst thing was the week in the hospital after. Teeth being drilled on without any numbing. Car crash. Broken femur, shin, ribs, knee, and spine fractures. Adrenaline did a pretty okay job while I was stuck in the car. When they pulled me out and moved my legs, well, that was different.